2 years have passed since the reveal trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4 and Missing Link. And the latest closed beta test for Missing Link just ended. Don't look at the date. Don't look at it's still May 2024, I promise. I originally had a joke written here about no news, but it got delayed, so I will not be going over the full aspect of the map portion / GPS mode. If you really want to know what it's like, it looks like it kind of works like Pokemon Go. I have no idea. I didn't play it, but if you want a full look into it, at least what we know now, I recommend demos. I played Kingdom Hearts Missing Link for over 50 hours. Link is in the description. Seriously, go give that man the love for playing over 50 hours of a closed beta test. Also, shout out to Dive Hearts. That's where I got all this footage from, so link to their channel is in the description. Also, as this is a beta, things are subject to change, so, you know. Without further ado, here are the timestamps if you want to skip to either just the story or the gameplay overview. You can also check the video chapters. If you like this, be sure to click the like and subscribe for more videos like this or future videos such as character... Oh. No? Sorry to bother you. Sorry, little Billy. The viewer said no. Starting it off, we have a question. It's time to wake up. Can you see yourself in the light? Before being brought into the character creation menu, 2 avatar types are selectable. A being more masculine, and B being more feminine. From there, you're taken to a menu that shows a few options. Face shape, hair, eyebrows, eyes, nose, mouth, makeup, and finally, you can choose your own voice for your character. Within the separate choices, there seems to be only about 6 or 7 options, save for hair and makeup, which is separated in parts for the eyes and face, and voice, which is separated by A number and B number, which are more masculine and feminine voices respectively. So, you could have a male-looking avatar that sounds like a woman and vice versa. I'm glad we're getting more options like these now in more games. And speaking of those options, those 6 to 7 types may not seem like much, but during Union Cross, there were events and banners you could unlock quite easily and didn't need to pay anything to get more clothing. Hopefully when this game comes out, we get more clothing events, but also faces, noses, mouths, or even voices. From there, you can actually choose the color for different styles, so you can have cute highlights in your hair or a lot of other stuff like makeup. Or, hey, if you want, you could always look online to get the color code and copy and paste it right in there. Then we enter a character's dive to the heart. At this point, I'll be skipping the scenes only to go over the gameplay, so if you want an explanation of the story, go to this timestamp and there should be video chapters that lead you right to the story section of this as well. But if you want to hear both, you might as well just sit through this, so thank you if you do that. With a quick tutorial of how to move around, which you can use either the controller or your finger, we're given 3 fragments to choose from. These will represent the dream weapon Sora chooses his own dive to the heart. Interestingly enough, it tells you to either tap on the trophy or use the icon below. No option for the controller to examine it, so I hope that gets fixed within the release. The 3 fragments all hold different moves, and that looks to be about it from the outside looking in. Donald holds Blizzard, Mickey holds Fire, and Goofy holds Slide Dash. After choosing a fragment / trophy, which I'll be calling them trophies from here on, we're tasked with defeating Heartless like any other tutorial in this place. It explains that if you're in portrait mode, you can tap anywhere to attack, but in landscape, you can use the buttons for it. It also explains how to use abilities in auto mode. If you're using a controller like a PS4 / PS5, it looks to be like the Japan controls where circle is to attack and X is to jump. I don't know if this can be changed. Once finishing the dive to the heart, it brings us to a menu showing the first chapter in the mission details, what we would get for finishing the mission, and what enemies will show up. Although we might have to fight the enemies first for them to appear here, as during the menu it's just a question mark. To the right of that is our equipment. We have our Keyblade, our abilities / magic, and accessories. Speaking of Keyblades, for those that might not know, there are 2 types in the game that we know so far. Magic, which is more range style, and physical, which leads into your typical Keyblade combos for an up-close experience. Story missions will mostly give you jewels, and in the full game, probably enough experience to level all your equipment. This is typical gacha game stuff. Yeah, I haven't showered in a year, how'd you know? The next mission is fighting the most terrifying, worst enemy in all of Kingdom Hearts history. Darkseid.
Playthrough.
A pretty small one at that, probably because it's for phones, but for now I'll skip over that and we'll just go over what looks to be the basic of moves. You can run, jump, attack, and dodge roll. Your basic movement we've had since Kingdom Hearts 1. Your abilities show up in the bottom left corner, and they use magic, even if they're moves like Sliding Dash. They also take time to reload like the command deck moves, which later you can change around how the menu looks, so after the mission is done, you can finally name your character whatever you want, but you'll be needing an item to change it later down the line. When you name your character, it's on the next few missions. One is fighting more Heartless, one is nothing but a cutscene, one is learning about the new Astral Plane, aka the GPS portion of Missing Link. Again, I'm not going to fully go into that, seriously, please go watch Damo's video. After learning about the astral plane, you get a tutorial on the gacha portion of the game, so I guess we can move on to that. Like most free-to-play games, you earn materials, in this case jewels, to pull for new characters or moves. Costing a good chunk of these things that you need, but you can get plentiful if you save up. How do you get these jewels? Well, as of the beta test, from what I've seen, is the main quest. Most, if not all, gacha games have more than one way to collect them. Events, main quest, or sometimes just getting off of the game for like 2 weeks or so and then logging back on to get a decent amount. The best way to get the jewels for free would be events and main quest. There are banners that have their own tickets, it looks like. As is usually, you can get these with events as well. And for the banners that uses the jewels, the cost for about one pull is 300 and 10 for 3,000. Look, it's pretty easy not to spend a dime in this game, so please just have some self-control, please. However, your first pull for magic/abilities is free. After doing your pulls, you can explore Scala, though there isn't too much to do, but it's still cool nonetheless. You can see other players, Moogles, some of which you can talk to, like the one wearing one of the society's clothing, and begin a beginner's guide. I probably missed some stuff. Remember, I'm just an outsider looking in and not an actual beta tester. But if you're liking the video so far, why not help me out and just absolutely beat the shit out of the like button. Just make sure it's blue, and if you want more Kingdom Hearts videos like this one, then be sure to subscribe and tick the bell to be notified when I upload. If not, I will bomb your air. After creating our character, we wake up in our own heart after the terrible events of Union Cross. Our stained glass shows the best friends that we had in the game. Ephemer, Skuld, and Chirithy. Behind them, we see parts of Daybreak Town and the Foretellers. Can I just say, I love the colors they use and how they portrayed our dive to the heart. It wouldn't know which union we belonged in, so it reps all the masters. Ephemer, Skuld, and Chirithy is an interesting choice to have there too. I know they wouldn't have been able to put our own character there like the other stained glasses, but what's important is that each one always had the person along with those who were closest to them at the time. We see the stained glasses change from time to time through some means. In Kingdom Hearts 2, while in the Station of Awakening, we see that it starts with a more blue color scheme, but it changes from blue to green to red. Not to mention Ventus's changes throughout his battle with Vanitas. If we look at the beginning of Union Cross, we are greeted by a dive to the heart, which it has to be ours because before at this point, it asks us what union we belong to. Once chosen, we're able to start the game after being swallowed by darkness, but look at the differences between this stained glass. They changed. Probably thanks to the friends we made and the adventure we had in Union Cross. Tangent, I know, but I do wonder if this means that the future can be changed, unlike what the Master says. Why give us the illusion of choice when you can just force a better future? Anyway, long tangent aside, after we choose the trophy we want, a few Starlight Keyblades fall down surrounding us with the caption, Keyblades, the power to connect hearts. That power still remembers you. With one more Starlight Keyblade floating down in front of us. A subtle hint to us that the Keyblades still do have a mind of their own. It makes me wonder, however, if we were chosen by a Keyblade or if we had the initiation back in Union Cross. After turning into the max upgraded version of Starlight, we are tasked to fight Simple Heartless. You know, simple tutorial stuff. When we win, our heart starts to get swallowed by darkness, with voices saying to basically go recover someone at a point, and that while there seems to only be one large group of energy signatures that exist at the time of the collapse. But suddenly there seems to be another one. I don't think this plays into anything from the past games. I was thinking it had to do with the ending of Union Cross, which, you know, it still might. Brain being in Scala and now our character. Or maybe they could sense Chirithy within our heart. It's still a little too early to say, but they do bring up a lifeboat, which might mean an actual lifeboat, or one of the pods in the giant machine that we've seen in Kingdom Hearts 1. After surviving the darkness that closed in on us, we see the Keyblade get all rusty and dirty. We learn that despite its losing its shine, we can still use the power of the Keyblade. I hope we do get to keep it later and be able to equip it, because the idea of using some rusty, worn-out Keyblade is just kinda really cool to me. But we go through the door after unlocking it with the old timer and eventually wake upon the beach within Scala ad Kylum. We are shaken fully awake by this boy in red who kinda looks like Axel. There's even theories that he may be related to Axel. This is Remus, and after he tries talking to us to gather information about who we are or why we're on the beach, a Darkside comes in and just kinda slaps him in a pathetic way. Like, dude, there was enough time to dodge that. First time fighting against this thing? Okay. The player is struck with a flash of light a few times and picks up the Keyblade and does the same pose as in Union Cross as Remus summons his, and oh my god, does it look so cool! It's hard to tell, but it does play into the steampunk style the game is going for. Originally, I thought it was Flame Liberator, aka Axel's Keyblade, but from the small glances I see now, it's clearly not. I guess I'm just blind, I'm sorry. Either way, I really hope that most of our Keyblades look as cool as this, because oh my god. After winning the fight against the hardest and most terrifying boss in Kingdom Hearts history ever, trust me guys, Remus compliments us on our skill and figured that we're actually a drifter. We also don't have any memories outside of Keyblade wielding, so Remus suggests talking to an operations master, which is the head of this game's version of the Unions, and he takes us back to his society where he belongs, thus ending Chapter 1. The next chapter starts off in the researcher's lab. They all share a pretty close resemblance to Terranor when he was a researcher under Ansem the Wise, but they talk about some sort of distortions that keep popping up all over and there's a bunch of them, which isn't normal. Theorizing that something might be up, they notify the guards and it cuts back to Player and Remus heading back to his place. They stop by the statue of Ephemer before another flashlight hits Player. There's a feeling of familiarity, but nothing really comes out. Remus jokes about how it isn't possible that we would know him personally. Oh, sorry. Did that get picked up? That was just my heart breaking again. Thank you, Nomura. Cutting back to the researchers, they find that those same Heartless are now in the city and they request for one of the leaders' society. However, the only one they can get in contact is the Baroque Society, and it seems they're not really well liked. Given the red color and what seems to be members thinking of them as a joke, it's like they're the Slifer Red from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, which is kind of funny because when I first saw Remus, I don't know why, but I thought of Jade and Yuki. I think it was the outfit. After arriving at a rundown building that turns out to be his society, they're questioned by some guards, but before we're taken in by those guards, the leader of Broke, Nept, saves us. Pulling off some black wings from their guards' necks, it's shown that we are being followed by some white/silver-haired people with black clothing. One of the society members? Possibly. They remind me of the remnants of Sephiroth from Advent Chillin' by the way they look. Did it say Chillin'? They remind me of remnants of Sephiroth from Advent Children by the way they look. This is most likely a reference to that, but I doubt they have anything to do with Sephiroth. As the chapter starts, we're met with one more member, Freya. They talk about how Nept usually takes people in all the time, but this time it was Remus. They go over what happened on the beach, and we see the rusty starlight on the table. Not sure what to do with us, we do see a somewhat silly, maybe even dim-witted side to Nept, as he brings up the fact that we haven't shaken hands yet, despite that we could be a bad person. We're accepted, and they talk about how they have a mission for us to test our heart. They state how weak and short of members they are, so this could be to their benefit. And they have plenty of rooms, so, why not? This chapter ends with the members, minus Player, outside talking about us, giving us a small character moment between them and Nept just kind of makes this weird noise I can only describe as if you're frying a steak and an air bubble pops. They look so happy, and I love them so much already. I have a good feeling that nothing bad will happen to them. Nothing. 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 Do not rip this found family away from me, Nomura. I swear. After waking up, we meet Freya outside the gates that hold the astral dimension. She goes on to explain how this world may look real, but it's made up of mental energies, and that no one lives there with the fact that very little is known about it. She explains that the Heartless is from the astral dimension, and no one knows why they found their way over, but a theory she brings up is the fact that there's no hearts for them to steal, so they somehow made their way to Scala. Freya then goes on to explain how when people go over there, they find things called pieces. Memories of other worlds, or pieces, can help you with your journey. Honestly, this is most likely the trophies that you can get in the overworld section of the GPS portion of the game, so. She brings up the term warp worlds, but doesn't really go any further than that. I am assuming that's going to be the Disney worlds at that point, so who knows. But she doesn't go into it because Remus was late, and she just decided to stay behind and let us go into the astral dimension by ourselves. Thanks, Freya. We're gonna die. From here, it's basically just setting us up for a GPS portion of Missing Link, as well as getting a new outfit in Keyblade. After changing our outfit in Keyblade? From here, it's basically just setting us up for the GPS portion of Missing Link, as well as giving us a new outfit and Keyblade. After changing our outfit in Keyblade, we make our way to the astral dimension. We arrive in a new world that connects us to existence and non-existence, and we're off to the GPS section. Whew, finally got that done and over with. That's everything I could find that I think is important from an outside perspective. I won't keep you too much longer, so if you love this video, be sure to like the video, comment, and of course, subscribe and hit the bell. Click the join button to become part of the Union for as low as 99 cents and get access to exclusive stuff such as emotes, members-only videos, live streams, and whatever the hell gameplay with you means. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky to be updated on things outside of this channel, such as live streams. If you somehow made it through this mess of video, thank you. I really appreciate it. And remember, may your heart be your guiding key.